So the first thing I want to start with, we have a little bit of a different warm-up today class, right? As you know, I like to kind of sprinkle in a couple different themed warm-ups, maybe centering around a movement or a particular part of the body. In this case, it's going to be centered on an object that some of us, I'm sure, probably have. This is our stability ball. Now, all of the exercises in this warm-up do not require a stability ball. You do not need to have it to perform these. But I think every once in a while, kind of sprinkling in this object is a little fun. This is my favorite item to use in the face-to-face classes for a lot of different things. And I just wanted to kind of sprinkle it in here a little bit as well. So we won't be sitting on the ball or using it for any sort of balance. We're just going to be manipulating it and kind of getting a nice full body warm-up with this today. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here. Our first exercise is going to be front circles. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll demonstrate this with and without the ball here. I'm going to get a nice athletic position. My hips and knees are nice and bent, and I'm just going to draw circles out of the air in front of my body. Okay, now where the ball comes in, right, we can just hold on to the ball. It's not really giving us any resistance to go against, all right, but it's not that heavy, right? But I think, again, just a nice fun movement we can incorporate the ball with. So what I'd like to do here is go for about 20 seconds in each direction, all right? So we'll go clockwise and then counterclockwise. I'm actually going to hold on to my stopwatch so I can keep track of the time as well, okay? So let's find an athletic position. We're going to get started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Just drawing big circles in the air with the stability ball. I'm going clockwise to start. I'm sure it looks backwards to you all in the camera view. Remember which direction you're going, because we're going to do the opposite here shortly. Checking my time. 3, 2, 1. Relax and reset. Back the same way, or the opposite way. Now I'm going counterclockwise, just really getting a nice range of motion there for my shoulders. Making those muscles work a little bit here as well. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. Shake out those shoulders a little bit if you need to, right? Just 20 seconds on each side. Now the next one I have for us, class, is going to be a chest press, all right? So once again, we can go with the ball, or we can go without, all right? I just want to make sure that we're working ourselves through that range of motion, right? Mimicking the movements that we're going to be doing in the workout, all right? Now, we'll be doing this one for time as well. So I'm in the same athletic position, and now I'm just pressing that ball straight out, bringing it right back into my shirt, okay? We'll go for 20 seconds together in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Just pressing straight out. You can squeeze. If you're using the ball, you can squeeze that ball as well. Make your chest muscles work a little bit more. Checking the time. We got 5 seconds left here, class. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now from here, I want to go into a standing torso twist. All right, so it's going to be in the same athletic position we've been in the first 2. I'm going to hold the ball out in front of my shirt, or again, I can hold my arms out in front like we've done in the past. My goal is to keep the lower body facing forward and get my chest and shoulders to rotate about 90 degrees to the wall on my left, and then back the other way, 90 degrees to the wall on my right, okay? Now, we'll go for 30 seconds on this one, again, with or without the ball. We're going to get ourselves started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Keep the lower body still. The lower body needs to face forward. And the upper body rotates about 90 degrees. Remember, you can focus on a stationary point out in front of you if you start to get a little dizzy. We still got 10 seconds left here, class. Keep it up. Very nice. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. Now from here, class, I want to get a little bit more core and shoulder work. All right, this one's going to be our sword pulls and our wood choppers. All right, the exact same movements that we have done in the past for that particular resistance training workout. But we're going to use the stability ball this time, or you can go without weight if you don't want to use your ball. Okay, so athletic position. As always, on the sword pull, that's what we'll start with here. I'm going to begin with my body rotated, right? So we're already incorporating that standing torso twist with the ball. And I'm going to have my object, or just my hands, at my hip pocket, right? I'm preparing to pull my sword from its sheath. And remember, as I do that, I'm pulling up, my belly button follows, so I get that good rotation, and then I come right back down. That's 1 full rep, right? Up and back is going to be 1 rep. We don't want to cut any reps in half, okay? Let's get 5 on each side, and then we'll go to the wood chopper. We're going to get started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. 1, 2, 3. Get that rotation. 4, and 5. Let's switch sides. Same thing. Ready? Go ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Very good. Now the opposite direction. Exact same motion. Now just the opposite direction. That's going to be our wood chopper. So, as always, the ball starts up high, and my body is going to be twisted, just like in the sword pull. I'm going to chop down low, get that rotation, and back up. We got to finish the rep up top. Again, don't cut any reps in half. All right? Let's get 5 more on each side here. Ready? Go ahead. Chop low, back up. That's 1, 2. Get that good rotation. 3, 4, and 5. Let's transfer to the other side. Start that twist. Ready? Go ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Very good. Now these last 2, class, again, we can incorporate the ball or we can go without. This next one's going to be our goblet mini squat. Okay? So the mini squat here, remember, it's just part of the way down. All right? And I'm going to show you from the side here. I'm starting off in my good athletic position. I'm going to go down part way and back up. I stand straight up and down at the end of the rep. Okay? Again, I can hold on to my ball or I can go without weight. Okay? And remember, we want to get a decent depth here, right? So our athletic position is already a partial squat, right? We're bending the hips and knees, pushing the hips back. We want to make sure that we're getting this mini squat to go down lower than our athletic position, but not quite as low as when we do our sit to stands or our squats like we will later today, all right? So we're gonna knock out 15 of these as well, and I want them to be quick reps, right? Almost like we're bouncing on the floor. So let's go ahead and get started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Coming down, back up, that's 1, 2, quick reps, 3, just a partial squat, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 more, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Very good. Getting the lower body working a little more quickly in that warm up there. The last one I have for us is a similar idea. It's going to be our deadlift into our hip thrust. Okay? Now with this one, if you don't have a ball, you might want to grab your weights. Okay? It can be the exact same weights that you do for your hip thrust, and we do that on Mondays. Okay? But what I'm going to start with, if you have the ball, you can incorporate the deadlift here, right? Because that ball is lifted from the floor, or at least where your hands would be on the ball is lifted from the floor. And I can do my deadlift here, right? Shoving the knees out, back nice and flat, chest up, pick up the ball, hip thrust, right? Pinch the glutes at the end of the rep, get that extra work, and then come right back down, okay? But again, if you don't have the ball or you don't want to use your ball, grab your weights and you can do just normal hip thrusts there as well. Still getting that good glute pinch and coming right back down to your athletic position, okay? I'd like the number of reps here to be the same as the number of reps in the hip thrust that we'll do shortly, all right? So let's knock out 6 reps here, all right? We're gonna get started together in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Coming up, thrust, back down, that's 1. Glute pinch, 2, 3, 4, 5, last one, and 6. Very good. All right, so again, mimicking the movements that we're gonna be doing later on. I'm kicking that ball out to the open space. I hope it doesn't roll around too much. All right, but we are done with the stability ball today if you were using it with me in the warm-up. Now, moving on here, class, I'm gonna find my chair or my wall. Again, we've got our balance today. And like I said last week, we are continuing to progress through our different balance, I guess for lack of a better word, progressions, okay? So last week we had the moving the head up and down, okay? That was the second and most challenging of the 2 that I emphasized, okay? Now that's gonna be the first one we talk about, and the new one I talk about today is gonna be the more challenging of the 2. All right, so just like last week and every other week before that, we have our wide stance, narrow stance, staggered stance, and our tandem stance. And remember, we can switch our feet, all right, for the staggered and tandem between our 4 sets of 20 seconds, okay? So again, just kind of go over it. We have the head up and down. I'm looking up to the ceiling, and then I'm looking down to the floor. Keep in mind that your range of motion for your neck is going to be a factor. So if moving your head up too high starts to hurt your neck, all right, don't go that far. Just go to a point of mild discomfort, okay? And then as always, have that chair or wall there for support if you need it, okay? Now, the progression that I want to add to that today, okay, is instead of moving the head up and down, we're going to go with our eyes closed. Okay, so I'm sure you all remember the 12-inch finger focus that we've done the last couple weeks before this, right? Where I was using my stopwatch. The idea there is to restrict the vision, okay? Make the other balance systems work harder and get better, all right? The idea is the same here, just now closing the eyes is gonna restrict the vision even more than the 12-inch focus, okay? So what that would look like is, let's say I'm in my wide stance with my chair here. I'm just going to close my eyes and hold myself in this stance. And remember, as you go through the different stances, it'll get tougher as I go narrow. It'll get tougher as I go staggered, and even tougher yet as I go tandem. All right, so make sure you have that chair or wall there. Again, you can go with the moving the head up or down instead, but also, we have the arms up and down, right? Both arms, one arm at a time, or the 12-inch finger, okay? Those don't necessarily go away. They're just not the ones that I'm emphasizing at this point in the progression, okay? So ultimately, do whatever's most appropriate for you here for your 4 sets of 20 seconds. But let's go ahead and get started with our first set. I've got my stopwatch here. And I'm gonna go with the moving the head up and down in the wide stance, okay? You go ahead and pick whichever progression you prefer. We're gonna get started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. I wanna do the eyes closed one as well for 2 sets. I'm just gonna have to cheat and peek at my stopwatch so I know how much time is left in the set when I get to that. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now, again, continue to go with whichever stance you prefer. I'm going to go with the narrow stance here for this one. All right. So now my feet are brought together, and I'm going to do the moving the head up and down once again. right, for 20 more seconds. Let's get our second set started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Again, find that comfortable range of motion, right? Mild discomfort, no pain if you're choosing to do this one. 8 seconds left, keep it up. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. Make sure that you've been switching your feet, or at least switch your feet now if you're going with the staggered or tandem. I'm actually gonna go with the staggered stance myself, and I'm gonna do the eyes closed here, all right? With cheating a little bit so I can peek at my stopwatch, right? So let's get our third set of 20 seconds started together in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Got my eyes closed. I'm restricting my vision all the way. Make my body work harder to keep my balance, but I have my chair here if I need it. I'm gonna cheat and peek. 8 seconds left. Keep breathing here, class. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now, last set, I'm gonna go to the tandem stance and I'm gonna switch which foot is out in front. I'll do the eyes closed once again. All right, so last set here. Let's get started together in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Definitely a little wobbly here. Tandem stance with no vision. That's pretty tough. Make sure you got that chair there if you're trying this one. 8 seconds left. Keep it up. Keep breathing. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. All righty. So hopefully you're beginning to see improvements in your balance over time, right? Following those progressions every 2 weeks, we get a new set of progressions. I hope that you're beginning to see that improvement. But I'm going to get this chair out of my way. Let's go into our power sets here, class. I'm going to start off with our hip thrust, right? It is Monday, and that is the exercise that we will pair with our catch step on Mondays. I have my heavier weights here, okay? Whatever heavier weights you have there with you, class, I recommend we use those. But again, ultimately, that's up to you, whatever you use. Remember the athletic position, just like before, we're going to thrust up. No arms or shoulders doing any work, right? It's all hips and legs. Get that good glute pinch at the top of the rep. The exercise we're going to pair with that, like I said, is the catch step. We're going to go for 30 seconds, alternating between right and left. And again, take your time. Let gravity start the movement. Your brain reacts. And don't forget, we can also have our wall out in front of us if we want that extra support should you lose your balance going forward, okay? Let's start off with the hip thrust, and I'll do my first set of the catch step at the wall like I've been doing consistently lately, all right? So let's find that good athletic position. Hips and knees are bent, chest is up. We're gonna knock out 6 of these reps together with the heavy weights in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Coming up. That's 1. Glute pinch, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Very good. Hopefully the shoulders are not tired, right? The shoulders should not be doing any work there. And now I'm going to go into my catch step. Oh, here's my stopwatch. It's in my pocket. So 30 seconds here, class. Have that wall if you need it. We're going to get started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Remember, take your time. I've been getting about 1 step every 4 seconds. And that's okay because we're allowing gravity to start this motion. The brain just reacts. Very good. 8 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very nice. Now, let's get that final set of hip thrusts out of the way. I'll do my last set of the catch step out in the open space here. But I got my heavy weights first. I'll do a frontal view of the hip thrust. Last set of 6 here together in 3, 2, excuse me, and 1. Sorry about that. Ready? Up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Very good. Again, hopefully we're getting that good glute pinch in there on every rep. Let's knock out the catch step here next. All right, last set, and then we go into our resistance training. So let's go ahead and get started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Let gravity do the work to start. That good step. Again, just like with the balance class, right? We want to see improvements in our balance over time. I also want to see improvements in your step length, right? Over time, we want to see you be able to get larger steps more comfortably, right? Bigger steps are definitely going to show improvements in overall function. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. Now grab a sip of water for me here, class. Catch your breath if you need to while I go over the first resistance training set. Like I said earlier, it is Monday, and that means we have our squat progression today. I have my heavy weights for this set here, class, and I'm going to start off with the double leg extensions. I'm in the chair. Whether I'm all the way back or all the way up, I'm sitting nice and tall, good posture, big chest, big shoulders. I'm coming up with both legs and back down. All right, that'll be 1 rep right there. If you choose this one here, you're going to get 12 reps. All right, so 12 reps on that double leg extension there today. Now, we also have the sit to stand and the squat, okay? And that can be without weight, so it can be just body weight, or we can hold on to our heavy weights, okay? Whatever you prefer, I would recommend the heavier weights for this set, or for this exercise here, class. But remember, we have the sit to stand, we can have our normal stance, right? So kind of in between the wide stance and the balance sets and the narrow stance. So my feet are about shoulder width apart, maybe a little wider, but they're kind of side by side, right? I don't have one foot out in front of the other here. If we choose to do that, we're just going to get 12 reps in total, just like with the double leg extension. Make sure you know where that chair is with the sit to stand. With the squat, it's the same idea. My feet side by side, shoulder width apart. I can get a little bit larger range of motion squat. I would like this one to be a larger range of motion than the mini squat that you did in the warm-up with me, okay? So those, all 3 of those will be 12 reps total. Now, the other option we have is the staggered stance. And now you see my left foot's out in front of my right foot. That's going to make my right leg do a little more work. I'm going to get 6 reps with this position, and then I'll switch and get 6 more with my left leg in back and my right leg up in front, right? So that'll be 12 total. The squat's the same way, right? I can stick one leg out in front, knock out 6 reps. I might not be able to get as low, but I'm still getting great work done on my back leg. Then we switch for the last 6, okay? So that'll be our squat progression. The upper body exercise I want to pair with that is going to be our bent over row. I recommend we do the lighter weights for this one, as I would like to go with 2 sets of 15 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to find my good athletic position. I want to have a good forward lean with my back nice and flat. I'm going to pull these light weights up to my rib cage and bring them right back down. I'm working on pinching my shoulders on every rep there, okay? So let's start out with the squat progression here, class. Pick whichever one of those options you prefer. I got my heavy weights here. I'm gonna go up to sit to stand in the staggered stance for my first set, all right? So my right leg is back, my left leg is up. Again, make sure you know where that chair is. We're gonna knock out our first set of 12. 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Coming up and back down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go ahead and switch feet if you're doing staggered and back up. That's 7, 8, 9, 10. 2 more. 11 and 12. Very good. Now I'm going to set those down. Let's go into our bent over row here. Okay, I've got my light weights for this one. I'm going to find my good athletic position with my back nice and flat. Again, I said this before, make sure you have that good forward lean. We don't want to turn this into an upright row. All right, we want bent over row here. So let's knock out our first set of 15 reps. We're going to get started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? I'm coming up to the rib cage, back down. That's 1. 2, pinch those shoulders on every rep. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, going to 15. That's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Very good. I think that with going 15 reps on the bent over row, you get just as much of a workout for your lower body as you do getting a nice pull for the upper body, because we have to hold that position for 15 reps, right? I can feel my leg muscles working there to keep my posture. So let's go with our second and final set of the squat progression. And I'm actually going to go with the squat for this one. I'm going to get my chair out of the way. Again, we've got 12 total reps, or 6 on each side if you're doing the staggered, which I'm going to do here. We're going to get ourselves started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? I'm coming down and back up. That's 1. 2, keep the chest up here. 3, back nice and flat. 4, 5, 6. Go ahead and switch feet. Go ahead. 7, shove those knees out. 8, 9, 10, going to 12, 11, and 12. Very good. That is it for our squat. We'll still need the heavy weights, but I'm just going to set them off to the side. And I'm going to find my light weights once again. I'll go with a frontal view on this set here, class. So I'm finding my good athletic position with the good forward lean. My back stays flat. Let's knock this out in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Up to the rib cage, back down. That's 1. 2, pinch those shoulders in every rep. That's 3. 4, driving those elbows back behind you. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 more. 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, I think. All right, that is it for our first resistance training set. Go ahead and get a sip of water for me here, class. Catch your breath if you need to. I'm going to go over our next superset. And we have the resistance band option for both of these exercises. The first one's going to be our RDL, okay? Now, in the past, I have mistakenly said RDL, or bent over row. I've gotten the two names mixed up, even though I know which exercise I'm talking about, because their starting positions are identical, right? So here, I'm finding my athletic position. Good forward lean, but this time I'm letting the weight slide down my leg Get to about middle of your shin, and then come right back up. And again, we're working on keeping that back flat, pushing those hips back, okay? At the top of the rep, I come up to standing, okay? And I'm pinching my glutes to get full extension, just like I do on the hip thrust, right? We want to get that extra work in there, really get a lot of bang for our buck, right? So I'm going to come down again, push the hips back nice and flat, middle of the shin, and right back up to the top. Nice full extension, pinch those glutes together, all right? I'd like to do 2 sets of 8 with that one, all right? And again, the equipment options, we have the heavier weights or the resistance band, because the resistance band can provide quite a bit of that resistance as well, probably a little bit more so than some of the lighter weights that we might have been using this semester so far. So if we want to use the band, I'm getting a double leg anchor, right? I'm just stepping on the band. I'm making sure that it's underneath the middle of my shoe so that it doesn't slide up and slap me. All right, I can wrap up excess and then just work the handles of the band the same way I do the dumbbells. All right, I come down and back up. Now I want to show this frontal view because look at my knees, right? I do not want to let my knees cave in as I do this exercise. I want to shove my knees out, just like on the squat, right? Shove your knees out to the walls on either side of you for every rep on this as you come up and as you come down and back up. There we go. So pick whichever option you want for equipment. 2 sets of 8 there. And the exercise I'm going to pair with that today is going to be the chest press with the horizontal adduction, okay? Now with this one, we're going to go with 2 sets of 10, all right? And I truly just want you to pick whether or not you want to go with your lightweight or your heavyweight, okay? So there are some exercises I really recommend lightweight. Some of them I really recommend the heavyweight, and there's a couple where I just kind of say pick one of the 2, all right? This is one of those. Pick one of the 2, heavy or light. We're going with 2 sets of 10 for this one, all right? So just like with our row, all right, I'm getting my shoulders pinched back, my elbows are driving back behind me, and I'm just going to do the exact same motion as the row. I'm going to have my arms go forward, all right? Now don't forget here, class, the squeeze. We're going to press our dumbbells together and then come right back to the start, okay? The row that we did earlier and this pressing motion are identical, okay? Minus the squeezing of the dumbbells, okay? It's just also in a different position, so it looks different, but they are the same movement, okay? So 2 sets of 10 there with that one. Now the squeeze at the end, don't forget, that's only gonna be about 1 or 2 seconds, and then you come right back to start the next rep, okay? It does not have to be a long squeeze. Now, we can also do this with the resistance band. I also like to show this one just to kind of keep that variety going. If I'm gonna use the band, I wanna get it around my upper back here and make sure that it goes forward from underneath the armpit, right? If it's underneath the armpit, that's gonna keep it from rolling up on your neck, which can be pretty uncomfortable, okay? Now, this band is pretty long, so you might actually wanna hold it a little bit closer to your body. Get some resistance there, or you can wrap up some excess with the handles. From here, I can press out, and then I can squeeze the ends of the handles together, just like I would with the dumbbells, okay? So, I will leave that up to you. I'll do weights for 1 set of each exercise and band for the other, just to demonstrate both. But let's get started with our RDL here, class. All right, I'm gonna go with my heavier weights for 2 sets of 8. I'm gonna find my athletic position, and we're gonna get started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? I'm coming down and back up. That's 1. Find that mid shin. That's 2. Keep the back nice and flat. Push the hips back. That's 3, I think. 4. Pinch those glutes right here at the top of the rep. That's 5. 6. 7. And 8. Very good. Now I'm going to set those weights down, and I'm going to find my other set of weights here. I'm choosing to use the lighter weight for this chest press, but again, you pick whichever you'd like. For this, we're going to knock out 10 reps with a squeeze in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? I'm coming out, squeeze, back in. That's 1. Just a short squeeze. That's 2. 3, nice and controlled here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. Now, like I said, for the last set of each of these, I'm going to use the band. Okay, I'm also going to go with a frontal view just to show different angles. So here I'm setting up my double leg anchor. I'm going to wrap up a little excess for myself, and we're going to get started together. Last set of 8 in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? I'm coming down and back up. That's 1. Pinch those glutes at the top. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 more, 7, and 8. Very good. Now I'm going to let this band come out. Make sure that you're careful as you release the band from underneath your double leg anchor, if you chose to do that. And now I'm going to set up my chest press with the band, making sure I get my band around my upper back and coming forward from underneath the armpit, right? I'm going to wrap up some excess, but keep the handles in my hand. That way I get a little more resistance there, okay? So we're going to knock out our last set of 10, getting a nice squeeze at the end of the rep, all right? We're going to get ourselves started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Coming straight out. Get that squeeze. Back in. That's 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, and 10. Very good. Now, grab a sip of water for me, class. Catch your breath if you need to. We're going into our final superset for our resistance training here. And the first exercise I want to go over with you is going to be the goalposts, all right? And I recommend that we do this with lighter weights, all right, or no weight at all, whatever you prefer there. I like to go with 2 sets of 15, right? So again, the higher number of reps warrants the lower amount of weight. Also the muscle group, right? The rotator cuff is a very small muscle group. We're not going to be lifting a ton of weight with those little rotator cuff muscles, okay? Now, remember, looking at me from the side here, it looks like I've just done my lateral raise with the bent arm, right? My elbows are bent to about 90 degrees. My starting position, I've got my weights held up at shoulder height. I'm keeping my wrists nice and firm, and then I'm going to lift up. I'm going to lift the lid, make the goalpost, and then come right back down. That'll be 1 rep right there, okay? Now, just kind of a frontal view, same thing. Make the goalpost, pinch the shoulders back, and then come right back down to the start, okay? That'll be 2 sets of 15 reps. Now, an exercise that we've done quite a bit before, but haven't gotten to a lot this semester is the standing ab twist with the resistance band, okay? So I'm gonna step back here, give a nice full view of how I set this one up, because it can be a little bit difficult for those of us who are newer to it, right? Again, we haven't done it that much this fall. I'm going to lay one end of my band on the floor. In this case, I lay the left side of my band on the ground, okay? If it's the left side of my band, I'm gonna step on the band with my left foot, okay? That means that the right handle is free. I have my hands up here. I'm gonna find a good athletic position, and now I have my handle held in front of my shirt in a nice goblet hold, okay? Because it's my left foot, that's the anchor, I wanna twist to my right, okay? We always wanna go the opposite direction of the anchor, okay? So left foot means we're twisting to the right. Here's what it looks like. It's just like the standing torso twist. I turn, lower body stays facing forward, upper body's gonna turn to the wall and right back, okay? Now, be careful, if you have a lot of band, okay, that means there's gonna be a lot of slack here. What I mean by a lot of band is, look at where you step, okay? If there's a lot of band between your handle and your anchor, the handle that you're moving, this is gonna be too easy, okay? There's no resistance. If I slide my foot over and step a little closer to my moving handle, now that's a little tougher, okay? So just keep that in mind as you go. I'd like to get 2 sets of 10 on each side for that exercise, okay, to pair with the goalpost. So let's actually start with that goalpost here, class. We'll get our first set of 15 knocked out, all right? And I always like to come to the camera into a kneeling position. You don't have to do that. You can just stand, right, as you normally are, right? So I got my starting position ready. We're gonna get started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? I'm coming up. Pinch those shoulders, back down, that's 1. Going to 15 here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 more, 11, 12, 13, 2 more, 14, and 15. Very good. That is it for our first set. Let's find our resistance bands here, class. I'm gonna step back far away from the camera. Again, just kind of give that full body view. I've got the left end of my band on the floor. I'm stepping on it with my left foot, okay? And I'm making sure that I have a good amount of band between my foot and my moving handle. That way I have the appropriate amount of resistance. Now I'm in my athletic position. Left foot, twisting to the right. We're gonna get 10 reps in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now, when I want to switch, I'm just going to have the end of the band go to the other side of my body. So now it's kind of like the right side of my band is on the floor. Now I can step on it with my right foot. Same goblet hold, same athletic position. Now we're getting 10 twists the opposite direction. Let's go ahead and go right into it. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. Now, when you're doing that exercise, I hope it looks and feels exactly like your standing torso twist, right? Minus the, the work being done in the core, a little bit more so here than in the warm-up. But again, lower body forward, upper body twisting. 90 degrees to the left, 90 degrees to the right. That's so important for our lower back. We have to have that upper back mobility. All right, so let's get our last set of the goalposts. I'll do a side view here, okay? I got my light weights, starting position, keep those wrists firm. Let's go ahead and get right into it here, class. Ready? I'm coming up and back down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 more, 11, 12, 13, nice and controlled, last 2, 14, and 15, very good. That is it for the light weights today. Let's knock out our last set of that standing ab twist. All right, I'm gonna begin with the same side I started with last time. So the left end of my band is gonna be on the floor. Left foot is holding that anchor down. And now I can twist to my right, okay? We're gonna knock out 10 reps here together in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Go ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's go ahead and switch sides. So now the right end of my band goes onto the floor. My right foot becomes the anchor, and now I can twist in the opposite direction. All right, let's get our last 10 reps here. Go ahead and go right into it. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. That is it for our resistance training for the day, class. Let's get into our cardio here. Grab a sip of water, catch your breath if you need to. Now, probably our 2 most classic cardio exercises are the ones that we're going to be doing today. That's going to be the cross-body punch, right, with a twist, and the cardio side step, okay? So I'm going to find my athletic position, and again, I'm going to punch with my left hand, going to my right hand here, sorry. I'm punching with my right hand, going to my left. My belly button follows the fist to get that good rotation, and we're going to go back and forth between those 2 positions. Don't forget, get a little bit of an ankle bounce here too as well, right? Get the lower body involved in this one too. We can make this a full body exercise, all right? The cardio side step, we're gonna work on just stepping out wide, having the other foot meet it, right? Other side, step out wide, have the other foot meet it, okay? Remember, we also have the hamstring curl option that we can put with that. If you look at me from behind here, I step out and then curl. Step out and then curl, all right? Get a little extra hamstring work there with that one if you want, okay? That's just an option there. Both exercises will be 3 sets of 45 seconds, and I'd like to start off with the cross-body punch with a twist, all right? So let's find that good athletic position. We're gonna get ourselves started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Get that nice bounce in your stance there. I was gonna say bounce in your step, but we're not really stepping here, are we? All right, just get a nice bounce to the lower body. Make sure the belly button follows the hand as it goes out. Get that good rotation. Just like with any exercise here in class that involves rotation, we can focus on a stationary point out in front of us here. Help us avoid getting dizzy. If you start to feel dizzy at any point, and you can still get that good punch and rotation doing that as well. Checking my time. We're going to transition in 3, 2, and 1. Relax and reset. Cardio side step. Step out wide. Have the other foot meet it, right? Not too wide though. Make sure you stay in a nice stable position. But again, challenge your lower body here a little bit, class. Remember those 3 ways that we can modify. We can get lower. We can step out a little wider. Or we can go faster, right? Pick up the pace. Just make sure that you're staying comfortable while challenging yourself. We still got 15 seconds left before our next transition. Keep it up. Very good. I see those bodies moving in the boxes here, class. 3, 2, 1. Relax and reset. Cross body punch. Hop right into it. Get those little bounces in the stance. As you begin to fatigue, check your posture, right? Make sure you still got the big chest. Pinch the shoulders. Looking forward. With this one here, class, we can also check our posture by where are you punching, right? Are you starting to punch the ground? If you're starting to punch lower, right, that might mean that we are getting hunched over in our posture. Make sure you're punching up to shoulder height. Checking my time. 5 seconds here, class. Keep it up. 3, 2, 1. Relax and reset. Cardio side step. Back into it. Second time through on this one. All right. Think about your posture here on this one as well, right? Keep the chest up. Keep the eyes up if you feel comfortable doing that. Keep the shoulders pinched. There we go. Hopefully we don't have to look at our feet too much with this class, right? We want to keep the eyes up. That's definitely going to help with the posture as well. We've got 15 seconds left before our last set of the crossbody punch. Keep it up, class. Keep that intensity all the way from the beginning to the end of each set. 3, 2, 1. Relax and reset. Crossbody punch. Last time through. Keep that breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth as always. Very good. Nice bounce in the step. Again, check where you're punching. Punch up to shoulder height, shoulder level. Keep that good posture. Checking my time here, class. We've got 15 seconds left on this one before our final transition. I'm going to do the hamstring curl for this last set of these side steps. 3, 2, 1. Relax and reset. Cardio side step. I'm adding the curl. All right, again, it's just an option. You do whatever's comfortable for you. If you've been doing the hamstring curl all along, continue to do that as we do this final set today. Nice big steps out wide. Very good. We want to keep our body kind of leaning in toward the middle, right? We don't want to let our body go out to the outside. We want to keep our body kind of leaning into the center because that's ultimately where you're going. You're redirecting your body weight back to kind of the middle of your step width here. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Relax and reset. Catch your breath. Get a sip of water. I'm going to really quickly check attendance, see how we're doing there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I see a picture up there, Steve. Is that a granddaughter? Yeah? Thumbs up. Whenever you're ready, class, catch your breath. All right. Oh, I should also check my cool down, make sure I know what I'm doing. I like to change the stretches up every once in a while. Modified sleeper. Okay. We'll go ahead and get started here. I'll go back to Big Chris. All righty. So our first stretch here, class, is actually going to be one that we've done before, but not very often. And I'm going to find a spot on the wall here. I got my sweatshirt on the rail. I want to make sure it doesn't fall. All right. So this one, it might take me a little bit of time to explain this one. This is our thread the needle stretch. Okay. And this is an alternative to the arm reach across. It's not my favorite because I don't quite get as much of a stretch out of it, but that doesn't mean that you all won't. Okay. So the thread the needle, what we're gonna do is we're gonna place both of our hands on the wall here, okay? So let's just pretend I have my wall in front of me. I got my hands on the wall, almost like we're doing our wall plank, okay? Or our wall-assisted hip flexions like we do on Fridays, right? So from here, you see I have a space underneath my arm. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to reach through that space with my opposite hand, okay? And the idea is that reaching through this empty space is gonna get a nice stretch here in my upper back, okay? A lot of people also do this one on the floor, okay? I think we can do it from the wall, but as you see here, I'm gonna be on my all fours position, and I have this space here underneath my body. So I take my opposite arm, and I thread the needle and reach, and get a nice stretch in my upper back, in the back of my shoulder, okay? Now, I know that this is a lot easier than threading an actual needle, but that's the name that a lot of people put with this exercise. So what I'd like to do here is find my stopwatch back. Here it is. Always losing it. And let's try to thread the needle. If you really, really, really want to do it on the floor, you certainly can. But just keep in mind, I think we can also do it at the wall for those of us who maybe aren't as comfortable going to the floor. Okay, so let's get 30 seconds on each side here. I'm going to put my left arm up on the wall, and I'm going to reach through the space with my right hand. All right, go ahead, 30 seconds. Now, I'm sure you all remember me saying this here, but I am hypermobile, okay? So I have a lot of flexibility. That means I don't have stability in a lot of my joints. I'm actually at risk for a lot of joint injuries, right? So that hypermobility is kind of one of the reasons why I don't feel much of a stretch with this one. 3, 2, 1, relax. But for those of us who are not hypermobile, you might feel a really good stretch here. So I need to keep that in mind as I give us stretches, right? Just because I don't like the stretch doesn't mean that you won't, right? So let's find another, put the other hand on the wall here, and we're going to reach through the other space there, all right? We'll get 30 seconds. Ready? Go ahead. Hopefully we're feeling that stretch there. Again, I know that this isn't as difficult as threading an actual needle. Much bigger space to press our hand through than the eye of the needle. 15 seconds left. And I do know how hard it is because I actually know how to sew. I took a textile arts class when I was in school, believe it or not. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. Let's move on from that one here, class. I actually want to stay at the wall for this next one, okay? And this motion here with the standing chest stretch, which is the one we're doing here, is really the exact opposite of the thread the needle that we just did, all right? Or the arm reach across that we do as well, right? So we're getting that opposite motion because we want to stretch the muscles on the opposite side of the body. Just keep in mind here, class, we can go with our hand straight back behind us, or we can go with the hand a little farther up, okay? I think having the hand a little farther up gets more chest, okay? And that's the one I'm gonna go with here today, all right? So go ahead and start. We'll get 30 seconds on each side. Again, get a nice twist away from the wall there, class. That's really gonna help accentuate the stretch. We've got 15 seconds left before we switch to the other side. Very good. Keep that breathing here as well, class. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. Now, excuse me, let's switch sides here. I'm just gonna pretend I have a wall on this side. Ready? Go ahead. Get that nice stretch on the other side of the body. Keeping that breathing. Now, I say that I know how to sew. It's pretty much hand sewing. We used to have to know, we had quizzes on how to thread a sewing machine. And I used to be able to do that. I don't think I can do that anymore. I think I forgot how to thread a sewing machine. So I have to rely on hand stitching now if I have to sew something. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Next up here, class, we worked on our rotator cuff muscles. So let's complement that with a stretch. We're going to do the modified sleeper today. All right, so I'm getting my arm out in front of me. I'm not going completely out in front. I'm going to not be out the side either. I'm going to be kind of out in the middle, 45 degrees out from in front of my chest. Now I'm going to gently push my arm down with 2 fingers. All right, we'll get 30 seconds on this one. There we go. Make sure we're breathing as well. We've got 3 stretches left here, class, and then we'll be done for the day. Very good. 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Let that arm come down and dangle a little bit if you need to. All right. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So now, getting my arm wrestling position, out to the side slightly, 2 fingers. All right, we want to make sure that we're gentle, right? Like I said, those rotator cuff muscles are small, and they get smaller as we get older, right? The rotator cuff muscles are responsible for so much, right? Getting the arm over the head, right? Being able to grab things off of a tall cabinet shelf, combing your hair, right? A lot of those overhead movements are possible because of the rotator cuff. We want to take care of them. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Shake those shoulders out a little bit if you need to. Now, let's get to our first lower body stretch, right? So last week we did the supine quadricep stretch off the camera, right? Where we're lying down and then getting that leg back behind us. And this week I want to emphasize again the 3 options that we do when we have this stretching class, right? So the first one is going to be our staggered stance quadricep. I have my back heel lifted, my hips are pushed forward, I'm bending that back knee, right? And then we'll get 30 seconds on each side there. Use your chair or your wall if you need a little extra support. I'll say the same thing about our standing quad pull, right? A lot of balance in those last 2 stretches. Make sure you have some support. Last one, chair assisted lunge. All right, get 1 leg back, 1 leg forward, sit up nice and tall. All right, I'll do this one here for the first 30 seconds. Go ahead and pick whichever one you prefer, and we'll get started. 30 seconds right here. Keep your breathing, keep your posture. You've got 2 more stretches after this one here, class, and then we'll be done for the day. 10 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Go ahead and switch sides here, class. Continue to do the stretch that you were doing for the first 30, but I'm going to do the staggered stance for this one, right? Just to kind of demonstrate different ones like I like to do. 30 more seconds here, class. Go ahead and start if you haven't already. Keeping your posture. We have to keep our posture with all 3. Right? Just because we're standing, right? We don't want to hunch over while we're stretching those quads. Stay up nice and tall. 8 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now, we also want to make sure we have a good stretch for our core, right? We did a lot of twisting today. So I'm in the chair here now. I'm going to turn 45 degrees. I should have said we're doing our Hollywood stretch, right? I skipped that part. So Hollywood stretch from the chair. We turn 45 degrees. That exposes the corner. Now I can grab onto that corner and twist in the opposite direction of my 45-degree turn, right? Get a nice stretch for the torso. We also have our floor version of this, and I should change the camera angle a little bit. There we go. We have the seated back twist. So now I have 1 leg up front, In this case, I'm crossing my right leg over. That means I'm going to turn to the right. Yeah, I want to press my belly button into the thigh. Okay, we'll go for 30 seconds here on each side. Pick whichever one you prefer. Go ahead and start. I almost started doing the figure 4 by accident. Got my stretches mixed up in my head. Now the twisting kind of compromised our posture a little bit, but we can still focus on sitting up as tall as we can. 8 seconds to go before we switch sides. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. Go ahead and switch sides, class. I'm going to go back to the chair version here. Go ahead. 30 more seconds. Might even get a little bit of a crack in your back. I got 1 so far. Again, keep that posture up as nice and tall as you can. Stay comfortable. Going to that point of mild discomfort, never pain. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. And then to finish up our class today, what I'm going to do is have us do our double leg hamstring stretch. All right. So I'm going to scoot up to the front, dig my heels in, keep my back nice and flat, good posture, and get a nice forward lean. All right. We'll go for 40 seconds on this one here. Go ahead, class. And I know I say this every day, but again, think of your RDL, right? This is just an RDL posture position where we just happen to be supported by the chair, right? You want to keep that back flat, push the hips back. Hopefully we're getting a nice stretch in the back of the thigh. We've got about 13 seconds left. Keep it up. Keep the breathing. Three, 2, 1, relax. Very good. That's all that I have for us for today, class. I want to thank you all so much for participating, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day. I'll see you on Wednesday.
Thanks, Chris.